The night is October 31st, 1978. In the quiet suburb of Haddonfield, Illinois, psychiatrist Dr. Samuel Loomis races through the streets, shotgun in hand, chasing a silent killer who's just escaped from Smith's Grove Sanitarium. That killer? Michael Myers, the blank-faced boogeyman Loomis has warned about for years.
Michael Myers.
One botched patient transfer, and suddenly it's Loomis versus Myers. Obsession versus pure evil. A real-life cat-and-mouse game that terrorized a town and haunted a doctor until his dying breath.
Iconic clash.
To grasp why this feud scarred Haddonfield forever, you've got to pan back. On one side is Dr. Samuel Loomis, a grizzled British psychiatrist dedicated to containing the pure evil he saw in Myers since treating him as a child. Loomis wasn't just a doctor, he was a crusader, convinced Myers was the devil incarnate. On the other, Michael Myers himself, a stoic, unstoppable force, the Shape, who murdered his sister when he was just 6 in 1963 and spent 15 years catatonic in a sanitarium before breaking out. Silent, masked, and driven by an inexplicable urge to kill, Myers became Loomis's white whale. Their paths intertwined in the late 70s and 80s amid a series of brutal slayings that turned ordinary Halloween nights into bloodbaths.
Halloween. Nothing happens on Halloween.
This wasn't random violence. It was a doctor's desperate hunt for a masked monster he once helped cage.
Here comes the tickler.
Myers' primary target, Laurie Strode, wasn't just a random victim. She was his long-lost sister, adopted out after the 1963 tragedy. Turning the feud into a twisted family reunion, Loomis uncovered mid-chase.
Strode girl, that's Michael Myers' sister.
But why did this troubled young man want so badly to kill his magnificently well-endowed sisters? Let's learn a little more about our combatants first. Born in England, Samuel Loomis built a career in psychiatry, specializing in violent offenders. By 1963, he was assigned to Smith's Grove Sanitarium in Illinois, treating 6-year-old Michael Myers after the boy stabbed his sister Judith to death on Halloween. Loomis spent years observing Myers' blank stare, concluding he was evil, without remorse. His reports begged for lifelong incarceration, but bureaucracy ignored him. Loomis rose as a respected expert, but Myers haunted him, turning his practice into a personal vigil. Michael Myers was an ordinary kid until that fateful 1963 Halloween, when he donned a clown mask and murdered his sister with a kitchen knife. Institutionalized at Smith's Grove, he went mute, staring blankly for 15 years. Loomis took to calling him the Shape, a vessel of pure malice. On October 30th, 1978, during a transfer to court, Myers escaped, stealing Loomis's car and heading home to Haddonfield, setting off a killing spree that terrified a nation. On Halloween night, Myers returned to Haddonfield, stalking Laurie Strode.
Halloween?
Loomis, sensing the escape, rushed to town, warning Sheriff Lee Brackett of the boogeyman, and the hunting began. Myers slaughters Laurie's friends, Annie Brackett, Linda Vanderklok, Bob Sims, in brutal stabbings, displaying bodies like trophies. Loomis tracks him to the old Myers house, site of Michael's first killing, finding more victims inside. At the nearby Doyle residence, Myers attacks Laurie, strangling her until Loomis bursts in. The doctor, gripped by panic, claims to have shot Myers 6 times, sending the killer off of a balcony just to vanish in the chaos. However, Myers' attack on the sleepy town persisted. That very same night, Myers rampages through Haddonfield Hospital, killing staff, nurses, guards, doctors, through injections, drownings, and stabbings.
All this Michael Myers crap.
The increasingly exasperated Dr. Loomis learns the dark secret that Myers is in fact Laurie's brother. Obsessed with killing this dark force of nature he feels responsible for, Loomis lures Michael into a trap using the traumatized young woman as bait. He proceeded to fill a room with a mixture of oxygen and ether before igniting it with the maniac killer inside.
Moments ago, police reported that Michael Myers, formerly of Haddonfield, who fled the Smiths Grove Warren County Sanitarium last night, was believed to have burned to death.
Myers was badly burnt, but survived in a deep coma. The reign of terror wouldn't end there. 10 years later, in 1988, Michael awakens after learning that while Sister Laurie has died in a car accident, she has left behind a 9-year-old daughter. Though believed to still be comatose, Myers escapes during a transfer, killing an ambulance crew. Loomis, now battle-scarred, limping, and more world-weary than ever, pursues Myers back to Haddonfield, where the faceless killer targets his niece, Jamie Lloyd. Loomis teams up with Sheriff Meeker, shooting Myers repeatedly and sending his limp body deep into an abandoned mine shaft. In a fit that echoed her uncle's murderous arts, young Jamie stabbed her foster mother after these events and was placed under the always effective loving care of the increasingly unbalanced Dr. Loomis. The evidently pretty rugged and durable Myers survives the pitfall, cared for by a hermit for nearly a year before killing him like he does. With Halloween '89 approaching, Myers resumes stalking Jamie, bumming her out hard by murdering her friends Tina, Mikey, and Spitz with a variety of farm tools and car impalements.
It's Halloween.
Digging back into his old bag of tricks, the near-mad Loomis uses the severely traumatized Jamie as bait, trapping Myers in a chain net and tranquilizing him. Loomis proceeded to beat Myers with a wooden plank, but suffered a stroke for his efforts. 6 years later, under mysterious circumstances, Myers again escapes and again resumes pursuing his now 15-year-old niece who had just given birth and finds herself on the run from her spunky uncle. Though now retired, Dr. Loomis is convinced by his colleague, Dr. Terrence Wynn, chief administrator of Smith's Grove Sanitarium, where Michael was incarcerated as a boy, to return to active duty. No longer ranting and raving, Loomis appears to have accepted the unstoppable nature of his former patient. He never again directly confronts Myers, allowing others to take the lead. In the meantime, Michael finally catches up to Jamie and kills her, only to find the newborn baby has been hidden elsewhere. After a number of brutal killings along the way, it's revealed that Dr. Wynn is actually the mysterious Man in Black, the head of the Druidic Cult of Thorn, which cursed young Michael into killing his entire family so many years ago. All along, this figure who was running the very institution where Michael was incarcerated had been teaching and training Michael skills like driving, something Loomis had long been suspicious of. This all might sound strange and convoluted, but just to clear up any confusion, Wynn and his followers believed that within Michael's DNA, they had created the purest form of what they called the Curse of Thorn. And after many attempts to impregnate female patients of Smith's Grove Sanitarium, finally succeeded in impregnating 15-year-old Jamie Lloyd with her uncle's evil seed.
Hang on, what?
Following the natural next step in enterprises such as these, the Cult of Thorn intended to sacrifice Jamie's baby, Stephen, but a neighbor boy interrupted the ritual and paralyzed Uncle Daddy, Big Mike, with tranquilizers. Using runestones, he releases him from his druid curse. Loomis, approaching what he thinks is a dead Michael Myers, discovers under the mask that Michael has swapped places with Wynn and escaped out the back door. He's understandably bummed out, but even more so when the dying Wynn grabs him by the arm and transfers his cult tattoo to Loomis's arm, making him the new leader of the cult, obviously. That's how cult shit works, FYI. If you thought he was bummed out before, here's the twist.
Twist!
Loomis's obsession with Myers, his unshakable belief that the boy was pure evil, has been seen by many as a self-fulfilling prophecy that warped the man into an even more depraved killer. But later revelations about Wynn and his druidic cult indicate Loomis may have been right all along. Loomis died not long after the 1995 events, his body found with the thorn mark, implying Myers' curse had indeed claimed him. Myers vanished, presumed dead or dormant, though rumors suggest he may have become a travel vlogger, others that he accepted a position as a parking enforcement officer in Pico Rivera, California. Haddonfield rebuilt, but the scars linger. Annual vigils mark the massacres, with victims remembered in memorials. In 2025, true crime pods like Haddonfield Hauntings revisit the feud, with social media debates continuing about Loomis's madness mirroring that of Myers. Books like The Shape of Evil detail Loomis's warnings that went ignored by authorities. So, where's the feud now? Entombed with Loomis, but its shadow looms. In 2007, shock rocker Rob Zombie produced, wrote, and directed a series of films fictionalizing the events as slasher schlock, with Malcolm McDowell in a somewhat cartoonish depiction of the late Dr. Loomis. Pure Hollywood cashing in on real tragedy. The questions that forever loom over the tale of Michael Myers and Samuel Loomis: was Loomis a hero or an enabler? Was Myers really cursed or just evil? These questions may loom until the end of time. Drop your takes in the comments, feud fiends. Was Myers a real monster or a doctor's delusion? Have a happy Halloween, and join us next time when we dissect another star-studded spat that'll make you glad you're not famous.
Like us. Subscribe to us. Submit to us. Until next time, feud fiends. This has been Iconoclash.